Today we're going to be checking out the Mattel Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Attack Pack Velociraptor Blue. The package touts Velociraptor Blue as being posable. I don't know if I would say posable though. So let's get some measurements for Blue from tail to head. The figure, the dinosaur, is 7 inches in length. Now, if Blue seems somewhat familiar to you, looking at him, he looks like you know him. You know him from something. Well, he was technically also released with Owen. And this was the spring, the equivalent of a spring launching Blue. But if you look at the two figures, they are similar to one another. In fact, it looks like they share the same bodies. And I wonder if some of that initially thinking, well, why did that tail be a separate section? I'm wondering if it's because the bodies are reused from one another. The hands, though, do, I will say, look different from one another. They did sculpt the hands slightly different on this Blue than this one right here. But it's interesting that they would tout this one as being posable. As really the only marketing end of it. From a posability standpoint, we'll actually get that out of the way right now. His arms rotate all the way around. His legs rotate back and forth. His tail doesn't do anything, and his mouth does open and close. The thing is, though, if you looked at the one that came with Owen, the arms also hinged outward, so they had technically a little bit more posability. And the head here has absolutely no posability, whereas the one that came with Owen actually can rotate not only the neck, but can also open the same mouth as the one here, the attack pack. So in some regards, actually, the one that comes with Owen, though for the fact it does have that spring launching mechanism, actually it is a more posable version of Blue, despite the fact that it's always slightly more of an angle than this one right here. The paint also, I have to admit, does look a little bit better on the previously looked at Blue than this one right here. This one seems a little on the more faded side. The heads are similar, but there's really no sharp detailing that this one has versus the one that we, again, already had a look at. So really, for your money, I almost feel as if the one that comes with Owen is the better looking Blue, even though technically it does have the unfortunate nature of having the lunging forward gimmick, which I have still yet to find be a useful gimmick, unfortunately, on the Raptor here. This one here doesn't have as much posability, even though that's really technically what it's being marketed as. Like I said, its legs move only back and forth. It's pretty much a pre-posed dinosaur. You can't do too much with it other than just the arms and the mouth. Any bit of movement here, you start sacrificing what you can actually get it to stand. And it very awkwardly stands, I have to admit. You almost have to have the legs as far from one another as you possibly can get them for Blue to actually stand properly. It's also to note as well, and don't want to do comparisons back and forth, but the one that came here, the springing one, does have some additional paint on the claws. It gets unfortunately left off here on the hands, but at the very least it gets painted here on the actual toe claws, whereas this one right here doesn't have that. At the trade-off though, Blue here, being its single release, does have a little bit more of a more affordable price point. But I have to admit though, the price point for me, I'd almost spend a little bit extra and get the one that comes with Owen, because I just think it's a better looking Velociraptor Blue, in all honesty. Like again, like you look at the top area here, they've painted the tail all the way down, almost to the tip, whereas this one here just very abruptly stops right around here and it just doesn't continue onward. The tail is also slightly different because it's curled here, whereas the one that had the springing mechanism has a more straight tail. Now they've released, under the Attack Pack line, they're releasing a whole bunch of dinosaurs. I think they're releasing about 5 of them, and we're going to have a look at those in the future videos. As it goes solely from just looking at it from picking up a raptor, I do think it looks good, but it doesn't look as good as the one we've already looked at. I think that's a superior looking blue. Unfortunately, it just didn't have it. If only it had, say, the gimmick removed altogether, I think it would be a better pickup than maybe this one right here. But I guess it still goes. It's a nice looking rendition of blue. And at the very least, you do have the mouth that opens and closes for it. I kind of wish it had some neck articulation and the quote-unquote posability end of it. It really doesn't have as much posability as you really want because, again, you can't really do too much with the legs. The legs are really pre-posed, which is the one disheartening end of it because, again, you're really only getting a dinosaur that always has to be posed like this. Sure, you can move the arms up, and sure, you can move the mouth open, but this is the pose it always needs to be for it to stand perfectly flat. I'm opening up again my Jurassic World app, and apparently the dinosaur of the week is the Velociraptor, which is interesting because I already have a Velociraptor. Well, that's, I guess, not true. I have Velociraptor Blue. Now I have a regular Raptor as well. By the way, as it goes right now for my updated list, here's the ones I've currently got here. We've already had a look at a bunch of these. The Carnotaurus, looked at in a previous video. And there is the Velociraptor Blue. So actually what I'm curious to know, and I've mentioned this when we looked at Blue one time before, this one does have the barcode or the dinosaur code bar on the underside of its foot. I'm wondering if I scan it, will I get the exact same dinosaur or will it not allow me to scan a new dinosaur in because I already have Blue? So we're going to try this. I'm going to hit scan. And I'm going to see if I can actually capture, which is a little harder to do here on camera. I'm going to capture it and see if I can get myself Velociraptor Blue and see if it does the exact same thing. Okay, well, I guess it's given me additional points. If that's correct, I think I had 7 before and now I've got 10. I would have to go back and double check the footage. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to check its assets again. Now I see these two, so maybe those have been added on that they weren't there before. In the film, Blue communicates with high-pitched squeaks, and each Velociraptor has a distinct personality, just like people. I'm going to go back into my collection, and yes, in fact, it doesn't look like one has been added. At least let me just double-check here. Okay, that's the regular Raptor. I'll go back into my collection. Unless I did get 2 Raptor Blues. There's one of them. Okay, and let's go back into... And there's another Raptor Blue. So you got 2 Raptor Blues. I guess they probably could have done something different so that you weren't getting the... Because essentially, what if all of these... Let's see, there's several Dilophosauruses. I see 5 of them. Just kind of scrolling across, there's several raptors. In some ways, you're not really getting a full collection of dinosaurs. See, there's a couple of Triceratops, a whole bunch of raptors. So your collection really isn't as large as you would think it may be. You're ultimately getting many of the exact same dinosaurs as carryovers again. Movie tie-in toys tend to come in several different incarnations. You may get one toy that has a gimmick, a sound effect, or some light-up options, and you may get the exact same similar toy in a more bare-bones release. We're essentially getting the same thing here with the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom figures, especially like the dinosaurs, for example, because as we've looked at over the course of this review, Blue here shares many body parts that the Blue came released with Owen. So really, you're not getting that much different by picking this one up over the other one, other than the fact that this one doesn't have the gimmick. From an upright standing dinosaur, this one looks better, but I feel it doesn't have as good the paint applications as the one that came packaged with Owen. You can really get as much going for a Velociraptor Blue, getting the one that comes packaged with Owen, even though for the fact it's slightly on a more tilted angle because it has to have that spring leaping action. Taking nothing really away from this one just doesn't have as many paint applications to it. And even though it's touted as being posable, there's really not a whole lot of posability that you can actually do with the dinosaur. You can move its mouth, yes. You can move its arms, yes. But its legs are pretty much guaranteeing that you can only have them in this one-way pose here for the dinosaur to actually stand properly. Again, take my opinions with a grain of salt. I do think that this toy line is nice for the fact that it has different versions of each of the toys and different dinosaurs that you can get. If you want just solely like a standalone packed in Velociraptor, then the attack packs that we looked at here is a nice way to go. If you want something that has a gimmick and has the 3 3/4 inch release of Owen included, then of course get the 2-pack and get that blue there that will have the leaping action happening to it. This one is a little bit more affordable as well. These ones will set you back about $10, whereas the one that came with Owen, I think it was closer to about $15, maybe $16 in stores. If you guys are interested in picking up both the Attack Pack Velociraptor Blue or the one that we already had a look at, the Owen and the Velociraptor Blue, you can find them all now at retail stores and toy stores as well. Today we were having a look at the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Attack Pack Velociraptor Blue. Not a bad release, although it does suffer a little bit on the details that I think the other one is much superior at being. If you guys want to check out some more Jurassic World, I should say, Fallen Kingdom reviews, there's a playlist on this channel called Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. You can check out everything I've done, and I'm really going to try to cover as many of these dinosaurs and characters as I possibly can, because I'm a big fan of dinosaurs. And I'm super excited for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom to come to theaters. I'll probably be like first in line, I think, when that movie comes out to theaters. Also, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below and head over to my main page to see if there's any videos that you may have missed. More Jurassic World reviews will be coming your way, as well as other videos also. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.